This is 80s Revisited. I'm your producer, Jesse Sedgley. And now, your host, Trey Harris.
So far, it'll take more than luck for Rocky to survive this round. Rocky's been hit with bombs.
Stepping up, Rock! Stepping up!
Rocky Balboa trying to stay in the middle of the ring against the big Russian.
Move there! Do what you gotta do! Stay with him!
But Rocky couldn't stay with him because Rocky didn't survive this far in the countdown, unlike the ravishing Russian. Well, that would have been, I guess, Bridget Nielsen in that film. Well, no. Dolph Lundgren, in fact, our good friend.
He's very attractive.
Exactly. And he's intelligent. He's got a degree in engineering.
Find that brain sexy.
Exactly. In fact, our friend Jeremy, our big, tall friend Jeremy, y'all, of course, strangers don't know what we're talking about, but his wife is madly in love with Dolph Lundgren.
Because he's super tall.
Yeah,
and
she
tall.
is an Amazon of herself.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the very nicest way. Because we actually went to college together for a couple of classes before I even knew who she was and that she was dating Jeremy. Before I even knew Jeremy, I knew his wife.
Yeah,
not that any of you listening out there
responsibility for that.
care about that. Matchmaker, bring me. I don't know. Match, whatever.
They
from
didn't
Mrs.
invite me to
Doubtfire.
their wedding. So, whatever.
Look what you did to us.
Jeremy apologized.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
The tea is hot tonight on 80s Visited for local friend news. But anyway, welcome back as we will crown a definitive winner tonight on our second annual 100-character 80s film deathmatch. I, of course, am your master of ceremonies. And with me, as always, here at the announce table, Jesse the King, producer, Zabrisco, Sedgley.
Yes, I am.
That was my horrible impression of Tony Schiavone from the Nitro days.
Tony Schiavone. Well, he's still around.
Oh, yeah. Is it AEW or
AEW?
Okay, yeah. I haven't watched much of that since it first kind of had its big splash because I don't have cable, and of course I know they have a lot of it on other methods. I just don't. I'm busy right now.
Right.
So we'll get more of that.
Well, he was working at
episode.
Starbucks before that, so.
And I got your order here. It is. Oh my God! It's a hot mocha latte.
He worked there for like 2 years.
Wait, are you joking?
No. He was working at Starbucks before AEW.
Seriously, 100%.
Yeah. And he went there because he was like, they have good benefits.
Like, no, I'm assuming he was in management or something. He was just like, nope, I'm just
a dude at
Tony,
Starbucks.
get those goddamn drinks out!
Yeah.
Ariella is wanting her white chocolate mocha pumpkin spice grande whatever bullshit latte.
They're using it on the show now. And I had to look it up because I was like, is that real? And yeah, sure enough, he worked there for 16 months, I think, or something like that.
Wow. I'd have been like, what are you doing here? I'd go get coffee every day. And it's
Talk about old wrestling stories.
What's the name for the order? Hollywood Hogan. Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan. Me and Autumn come in.
My name is Hollywood Hogan. Oh my God, it's Hollywood Hogan.
That's incredible news to me. That made my night.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway, we have 6 matches, then 3, and then the final triple threat one to crown the winner here tonight. And then we can get on with the movies. Back to the movies. Of course, all these discussions are about movies. This is just a fun thing to give us a break from movie, 10 best list, movie. But nevertheless, still fun. First few matches were a little boring. Unexciting. Boring's the wrong word. It's always exciting here on 80s Revisited.
Sure.
But the first few matches were just like, oh, this person clearly would win. Unless they got a lightsaber. So there's always that. But nevertheless, let's get on with it. Our first match of as we discussed earlier, the pencil ultimate leading up to the penultimate into the ultimate matchup. Audrey, too, from Little Shop of Horrors, who has been a plant de force in this tournament, Jesse.
Yes.
She has approximately not 13, but she probably has more kills than anybody because she was killing people.
She favors the ring.
Yes. So, and she's had to be in it twice, I believe.
Right.
So it was, last week it was in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And then it went into a Hell in a Cell match.
Yep. The cage came down.
Didn't matter to her. Plants be free.
Right.
Uncaged plants. However, she faces someone who's been not necessarily a underrated combatant, but one, honestly, I didn't expect to go this far simply because of the random issue and who else was stacked in this contest, and that is Jericho Action Jackson. Hello, Melissa
Carl
Sings and her
Weathers.
friends on Twitch. Local
right.
boy from Louisiana.
Twitch.tv/Melissa Sings if you want to get some singing done. And watch
Absolutely.
me play guitar sometimes.
There you go. The multi-talented producer, Jesse Sedgley.
There it is.
I don't play any musical instruments except the podcast machine.
The podcast. I love to listen to the old podcast machine.
Listen to this little ditty.
Yes.
Hey, here we go from 1987. But anyway, Audrey 2 is on, of course, for those joining us lately, if you need a recap, listen to the older episodes because there's 5 of them at this point, I think. In this tournament, or 5 or 4, whatever.
6, I think.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's a blur. I don't remember very particular things that happen in this.
Right.
But anyway, I have the cards of randomity, which will involve the weapons that these combatants will wield, and our producer extraordinaire holds the randomity of the location of the fight. All of which, when you listen to the past episodes, have led to many an upset, I must say. Mm-hmm. Many an upset. But we're in the meat and potatoes now. We are the killers of killers here. And in this match, Audrey 2, in her plant hand tendril-like vines, is
Plant-based
wielding
death.
her trademark weapon, which is herself.
Right.
So this is the first time Audrey 2's been at a disadvantage with the weapon. Well, possibly a disadvantage.
She's dropped them every time and just went
Yeah.
with her vines anyway.
That's true. So, well, she had lightsabers once, but as we revealed last time, I'm sure they didn't know how to use them.
Right.
So she would just hurt herself, so she didn't even need them.
We had to look up her stages on Wikipedia, but yeah.
Yeah, again, recap, listen to the last episode. For that particular fight, I almost said John Matrix, but Jericho Action Jackson is wielding Nintendo Power Gloves. Strap on, motherfucker!
Well, before we reveal the location, I would say old Action Jackson has seen the last action.
Is about to be plant-based nutrition.
Yeah.
However,
They are on a non-sturdy rope bridge over the goop.
well, last time that killed 2 people.
That's true.
So,
This time I don't think it's going to because we're talking about some vines happening here. There's no advantage I see for Action Jackson in this situation.
he's at a disadvantage because he only has 2 arms and a leg. Where
Right.
Audrey 2 has her roots and everything. So even if the bridge, I'm going to be smart and try to snap the bridge. No, Audrey 2's going to hang on. You're going to be hanging on the other side like
Right.
shit.
She will be entwining into the ropes.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think weight's an issue. I also don't think the non-sturdiness will be an issue because we didn't say it's a rope bridge that brought the break or anything. It's
Yeah.
just non-sturdy.
It's the bridge from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom before he cuts it. So it can hold a good amount of weight. Now,
Right.
it didn't hold a Rawhead Rex and a little Brontosaurus, if
Right.
I remember correctly. Obviously, those weigh more than,
Yeah, Audrey
10
2
human
does weigh a
men.
lot, but not as much as
a
a dinosaur.
She's a plant.
Right,
How heavy can she be? Because the person who then walks into the room gets immediately eaten by the plant.
right. So imagine even if it did break, she's entwined in this
Yeah.
thing.
She just hang on like, see you later, and sing a song about it. And then
So there's no weapon advantage. He really needed a weapon to get past this,
Yeah.
and
he
has
did not get it.
Nope, he has rubber gloves.
Yeah, pretty much. The cord's tripping. Whoa!
Yeah.
And he's hanging on. She's like, let me help you with that.
Yeah.
Ah! And he's, unfortunately, for Action Jackson, although he can outrun a taxi cab,
Yeah.
almost jump over small buildings, practically, in that film, he cannot compete with the power of Audrey 2.
That's right.
And the plant moves on.
Plant moves.
Now,
Goodbye, Carl Weathers. Oh, that was working a second ago.
no. There we
Doesn't
go.
like the ink.
Anyway, moving on. The weapons are retired.
Can't believe we're in the near finals and we're talking about this next person.
Yeah. On this side, the stage lights up. Yeah. Bono from U2 in terms of appearing in this countdown because he was in the film U2 Rattle and Hum, covered on the podcast, obviously, which is why he's here. However,
He's killed
he
children
2 children,
children.
and a mouse,
and a mouse.
5 with a mouse, and which was a child mouse.
Right.
Child killer Bono Kruger he's had a cakewalk, but standing at the other end, trench coat. Looks like a simple art dealer until he reveals his katana. Well, he doesn't have a katana here.
Right.
But the wind blows and reveals it as Connor McLeod from Highlander
And immortal.
against the immortal
Right.
U2 that have preserved, or, second, not, I was going to say second only to the Rolling Stones, but like Rolling Stones have been around longer than U2, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's rare for bands to persevere. It's unprecedented for the Rolling Stones, but U2... I'm just thinking of bands that are still together with, well, honestly, in terms of their absolute 4-member original lineup, they might be the longest band, at least the one that, just off the top of my head, consistent band for that period. Because, I know the Rolling Stones have changed drummers. People have gone and come back. That'd be something we'd have to look up for clarity. But if I had to guess, that would be my guess. So consistency, one of the most. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. A, because they're my favorite band. But B, to sound like I know something, the most consistent, oldest consistent lineup in music history. I don't know. Well,
it's a long running for sure.
Yeah, early '80s till today.
Without
still today
drama that I'm aware of.
Yeah, they had never like where it was like. I only learned drama of that band just simply from reading, there was a book that came, if you're a U2 fan, we're going into U2 talk now as we talk about it here. But they had
They're
a book.
Irish, right?
Aye.
So we have Ireland versus Scotland, right? For this one?
Basically, yeah. Why don't we just team up and kill the Longshanks? But anyway, there's a book about U2 that came out a long time ago. It was all their songs, and it had the personal stories behind it. And it's we're about to break up, and then we came up with the song one, and we're all friends still, kind of thing. However, now this is what's turned, well, not really for Bono, because he's had a cakewalk.
Yeah.
2 kids and a child mouse. But anyway, his weapon will be candlesticks.
Uh-oh. Maybe it's not going to work out for him this time.
Ooh, Connor McLeod will have freeze rays.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. However, if the only possibility for any kind of help,
they're at a health club with some toxic waste outside.
a dead mouse in the corner with a broadsword, and it's where his head should be. From Bono's.
That's right, they were there.
So Bono kills 5 of the mouse in the last round, turns around because he hears a noise, grabs the nearest object other than the broadsword from the last round, which disappears because that was in the last round. Grabs a candlestick, and strangely enough, he is incredibly adept with his candlestick. But Connor McLeod does that typical Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
And he just walks up and pushes Bono out the window into the toxic waste.
And all the ice chunks melt into there.
Creating Super Bono.
Bono wins.
Who then smashes him and wins.
Nah.
If I had my way.
Right, sure.
But nah. Finally,
he's gone, that child killer.
Now, to be absolutely honest, he was the last remaining,
weird one to be in, yeah.
Person, 80s movie character you would never see in this tournament. However, this is
we got to applaud him for his
brutality, his lack of moral compass.
His nice streak he had going.
He made it farther than anyone, a normal human should have in this.
Right.
Now, when I say normal human, everybody left aside from, well, no, I'm sorry. Can't say that. Because this next fight, forget what I just said. Let's just move on.
Uh-huh.
In the next fight, an 18-wheeler pulls up. Optimus Prime. Now fights his smallest opponent. In the other side, camera pans over from Optimus. You don't see anything. Camera pans down. It's fucking Chucky!
22 feet versus 22 inches.
This is the battle you've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. 22 feet versus 22 inches. Who will reign supreme? It's a real David and Goliath we got to go in here. It's a real barn burner. Optimus Prime.
Right.
Weapon. Razor line frisbees, which he actually used last round.
Yeah.
Or did not use last round.
Right.
What are these?
I don't even need them.
He throws them and they just come back and kill him.
So Chucky needs some metal melting stuff here.
There is a weapon in here that could absolutely ensure victory for Chucky and take out
would have helped a little bit.
Absolutely.
But that's gone. So.
But he has nothing. He has half of a liquor bottle.
Oh, no.
I'm going to fuck you up, Prime.
And they're in Kumite.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This is still interesting, though. Both the weapons are practically useless.
Yeah.
Hold on. Anything in Optimus Prime's hand is not useless because it's in the hands of a 22-foot tall fucking robot.
Right.
That can kill you in a heartbeat. But Chuck, the only advantage Chucky has is that he's 22 inches.
Yeah. And he moves. We determined he has
pretty
his
quick.
strength and I assume his speed as a normal human.
Man. Now, however, That's also he has the ability. He could can't do that forever.
But how does he take him out?
Exactly. But here's my hypothesis. He cannot beat him brute strength.
No.
But what does Chucky do, or try to do, in every single Child's Play? Yeah, you got it. He tries to possess the other person.
Oh.
Now, okay, never mind. I thought it through a little more. Yeah. I can reach every part of my head to where if I'm a 22-foot tall robot, I can grab a 22-inch little doll
Right.
off my head and squish it. Never mind. That would have been the only way you could have done it. If he somehow...
We'd have to climb on his back, maybe find a hole. Start just messing him up from the inside.
He'd be more like a gremlin at that point. But,
Yeah.
Again, just for everybody joining in, if this might be the first time you're listening or watching, this is all just pure fun fanboy speculation. We're just having a good time with it. If you have a logical chain of events to tell us, to sway this, by all means let us know. Haven't heard anything yet after all these, so I'm assuming we were 100% dead on.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Optimus is now, when he's a 18-wheeler, obviously there could be people inside because, he's giving rides to people.
But if he doesn't like those people, he will change.
Yeah.
You're right. So, I'm looking at various pictures of Optimus Prime, and he's just... There's no sneaking in anywhere.
Yeah,
really. Not to the point where you're going to mess up metal.
Yeah, if you're the strength of a human, now imagine. I've busted apart old tube TV televisions for fun. You find them in the woods, or somebody you go to somewhere and there's a random old TV sitting here. Well, let's get a rock and smash the screen.
Yeah.
Some of that shit. With your bare hands, you can't get it.
Yeah.
Even with the strength of a human. Again, Chucky is not super. He's not Toxie. He's one of us. One of us. Yeah, he more than a slingshot, Melissa. he need a slingshot with a laser bolt slingshot. Just respond to the chat. Good old Melissa Sings in the chat, giving us a good watch and giving us some things to talk about.
Yeah, I just don't see a way he's going to sneak into any of these.
Not at 22 inches. Now, if we're talking obviously Ant-Man or even like Fievel. Fievel would have actually been, with the right weapon, could have been actually a really big threat to Optimus simply because, he could probably get in there, and it might take a while, but he might find the right thing. He might find the Matrix and then chew on the wire and disconnect the Matrix, or he might fry himself. I don't know, but he's not in this fight. But when Optimus transforms, there's not a truck cab. It's not like a truck cab sitting there. It's not like Voltron where the passengers are protected.
Right.
And safe.
All there is the windows, and then it's all mechanics behind there.
And, no, they can't. Watch Transformers the movie, which is the reason Optimus is on this countdown. And when he gets shot in the chest, and spoiler alert, he dies, and he opens up his chest, there is zero room for a human being in there.
Yeah.
Much less a 22-inch doll to actually move and do something.
There's just seats and a glove box in there.
It's got the little toolbox, it's an 18-wheeler for authenticity. That's the driver's toolbox. Oh, look.
It's like a reflective vest in there.
Puts it on. Puts it over his optics
on a
my
tiny
optics.
little hanger.
Now, of course, if we were having fun. Now, if you're a Chucky fan, obviously you could absolutely tell me how he could win. But again, if we want to go the Deadliest Warrior route, where if we ran this fight 100 times, Chucky would probably win.
Yep.
A couple.
But
he ain't gonna, nobody is gonna bet on him. If you're a betting man, you're not gonna bet on him. So, Optimus lives. And
there's just no way for Chucky to win.
No, he just.
There's no.
The second he's grabbed, it's squished and just.
They don't get tired.
He's a doll.
Right. And I said it before. Optimus Prime. I don't know how he's gonna go down. It's going to take the weapon.
Yeah, it's going to take a very particular
the
weapon.
The right person with the right weapon.
Exactly.
We could speculate what Chucky would have done with a lightsaber. Would have had his best shot there.
Yeah.
But
that would have been the only thing.
Didn't happen.
But moving on down.
There you go.
The opposite of moving on up. Rest in peace. I forget her name, but she died last week. Billy, that from Different Strokes and sang this theme song. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't know her name offhand. But this next fight is very ironic because in this corner,
Alanis Morissette,
isn't it? And in this corner, Dave Coulier.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyway, in this corner, we have ding ding Clubber Lang, the second Rocky villain, still alive.
There you go.
So, that just shows you the power of Rocky Balboa. Which Rocky's not on here because a hero's only as good as his villain. Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed, you son of a bitch! And Clubber Lang killed Mickey. He killed the Penguin, the OG Penguin, Burgess Meredith. But it's ironic because on the other side, a familiar face.
But only the
That
face.
you sucker? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is John Rambo,
That was another life.
not John Rocky.
Right.
But, of course, John Rambo from First Blood, not the one-man... Well, he's a one-man wrecking ball in First Blood, but this is not the 80s movie stereotype of Rambo. When somebody says Rambo, they're not talking about First Blood.
This is drama Rambo.
Yeah, this is, vintage Stallone before it's like, oh, Arnold's making all this money. Let me go destroy a country with the and kill some Russians. So,
This
interesting
is super
fight.
PTSD Rambo. So, he's got demons.
Or this is like, it could go either way. It's a Rocky Balboa or John Rambo has a concussion from, and the whole thing about like what they say, oh shit, John Wick's the alternate timeline if Ted went to military school, or Indiana Jones is the dreams of Han Solo and Carbonite kind of thing. However, Clubber Lang, who has beaten people with his boxing gloves in this competition, is armed with flamethrowers.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Clubber Lang's bringing it. Bringing the
John
heat.
Rambo is armed with one broadsword. So a knight versus a dragon.
Oh my. No
However,
shield.
nothing.
They are in the docking bay of a visiting mothership.
So,
So very open.
yep. There's some alien crates around there.
Right.
But it's a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Now,
Flamethrower and a flamethrower.
50 feet.
Yeah, I was going to say 65 feet range on a flamethrower.
And it's a shotgun. I mean, it's not a beam.
Right.
It's not like a bullet. It is a...
Yeah.
Now, had this been like, say, in the swamp, the environment is not friendly to anything. Does not lend itself to John Rambo's skill. Now, of course, he's John Rambo, but it's a flamethrower.
Right.
Now, again,
He's wearing that like rubber.
well, he does have the gator armor,
Oh, he does.
but that's
Doesn't he wear like a raincoat throughout the,
Yeah.
the whole first one?
little. But
Thing will
it's a
melt.
flamethrower.
Yeah.
You can't take somebody out in melee combat with a flamethrower.
Yeah, it's...
Now, I will say, now, again, could John Rambo win? Yes, absolutely. If they were in a forest or a swamp to where, when the battle starts, John Rambo knows exactly what that weapon can do. I got to stay away. So he knows what he can do, but
There's nowhere to hide.
yeah, he just got, you can't outrun that. Let me say, John Rambo can run, but Clubber Lang can run too, because he's a boxer. So, they're both at peak physical, what's the word I'm looking for? They're both peak, well, actually, Clubber Lang's probably in better shape than John Rambo because he's coming back from Vietnam
Yeah.
and all strung out. And Mr. Singh says, yes, it will run out of fuel, but will it run out of fuel before Clubber Lang chases him and
Right.
coats him in a nice coat of napalm?
Yeah. I don't think so, because
I don't think
he's
so
not,
either.
he's not just going to pull the trigger just to put fear in him. He's...
Now, in the movie, in my brain, Clubber Lang's like, this ain't right. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. And then we have a Commando Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bill Duke confrontation like in Commando.
As long as he throws down that broadsword.
Yeah. But that would be the movie that I would see from these characters. I don't need this to beat you. I beat you before, I'll beat you again. You scrawnier than I saw you last time, Balboa. Well, you can call me that, Balboa. I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So-
But he's... Or he'll just go for the victory because he knows death is on the line.
Yeah. They both, now, of course, when you're getting hit with a flamethrower, it's not like, ah! Of course you're on fire. You're going to,
Sure.
you're literally burning. But, of course, Rambo could just run out of, ah! and throw this. I bumped the mic, sorry, that made a loud sound, and just sling the sword at him and get a kill shot, and he dies before Rambo dies, and according to the rules of this, he could win. Again, there are ways he could win.
Sure.
But we're going to go with...
The odds are greatly against him.
Yeah. In this illogical competition, we're going to go with the most logical realization here, and
Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang burns John Rambo to a crisp.
Oof. Now, this might not be the last time he faces John Rambo, though.
That's true. That's very true. It's all in the cards.
Yeah, I mean, he could come back and go round 2
Yep.
with a much worse John Rambo.
One that it wouldn't matter if he had a flamethrower. That would probably, possibly. But anyway, moving on. Van Damme, Frank Dukes with boobs.
Dukes
if
with
you listen to the
boobs.
other ones.
Yep.
Versus Vigo, the Carpathian.
From Ghostbusters 2.
That's right. So Frank Dukes with boobs is armed with more boobs.
More boobs. Goes. Now he's
now it's
from the Mars
Chick from
movie.
Total Recall.
Yeah, that's it.
Holy shit.
He's like, not again. Not again.
Vigo's like, what is wrong with you? The women in this century are so beautiful. Immediately
Falls in
comes
love.
Pepe Le Pew,
Yeah.
like, oh, my sweet forward-moved beauty.
He's jumping forward, yeah.
And then, let's see. Boobs for Frank Dukes, because he's a boob in real life, because he lied about all that shit.
Yep.
The Bloodsport is still an amazing movie. Vigo is armed with katanas.
Very close to his weapon of choice.
Yeah, actually even better. He can swing it faster and harder.
It's a shorter blade, but yeah. So
They are?
at the mall where the Santa picture is taken from A Christmas Story. So there's a slide nearby.
But see, here's how it happened. They're like, I'm gonna get out of here. Jumps down the slide. Then realizing that 4 boobs on your chest
Right.
would immediately and then he goes like and cuts him to pieces.
Yeah, because he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's there to fight.
Yeah,
And
he's
Frank Dukes probably has some dodges in him. Lands some punches, maybe. But I mean, Vigo's there.
It's
been there
it's
before.
katanas.
He's been there. Yeah.
One and a skilled sword wielder. I would bet on over a martial artist.
Yep.
If Mad Mardigan was fighting Bruce Lee, I would bet on Mad Mardigan.
Yep.
He's the greatest swordsman that ever lived. Bruce Lee's the greatest, to some people, he's the iconic, idyllic martial arts master.
Yeah.
Some people disagree with that. I'm not saying I do, but some people do. So I'm just
Vigo moves on.
Absolutely. Not much he could do. Again, I'd say already the cards have, mainly just the last fight. Really screwed somebody over. In terms of a obvious favorite, in
Yeah.
terms of John Rambo, well, I expected to be in the final 3.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would be in the final 3 with another John, and that is in the form of John Matrix, the sole surviving Schwarzenegger character in this countdown. In fact, in terms of 80s action icons, the last in this countdown. But he's fighting another 80s action icon, so he might not be the one that moves on. Because he's fighting what we led off with, the ravishing Russian himself, Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago. But it all comes down to the cards. So, in terms of strength, probably pretty equal. We never seen Lundgren fight, they were both in the Expendables, but were not as adversaries to where we ever got to see these two titans clash in a film. But Ivan Drago is armed with whips that can latch onto anything with a matching fedora. So he's Indiana Drago, or Ivanana Drago. That's a woman's name. Ivan Drago in the Matrix of Doom. But John Matrix, pistols with 1 bullet each.
Pistols, huh?
Yeah, but John Matrix killed an entire South American army with everything,
true.
with every single type of gun you could think of.
Yeah, let's bring that up. Let's see. There's so many great scenes from Commando.
Yeah. Just anything at the end. Well, the great thing about the end is that leads itself to his versatility. There it is right there.
Yeah.
With weapons, it's like, he has an M16, brat, brat, dives behind a hedge, comes up with an Uzi, brat, 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 throws it away, grabs a pistol, pulls out an AK. Like, every time he comes up with a different weapon. Grenade! Watch, there you go. Look, new weapon. There's the UCC.
Yeah.
He goes down with an M6. I mean, it looked like an AK. I'm not a gun nut, so forgive me if I misspeak. So the fact that he has a ranged weapon.
It's huge advantage because this is what you got on Ivan Drago.
Yeah. Even though of course, he could lash out with the whip and grab the hand and pull the gun out. But can you do that faster than John Matrix can shoot you?
Yeah, that's
And I'm going to say no.
No, he just took a grenade blast like nothing.
Well, his vest did protect him. He is a little wounded, but not enough to continue killing everybody in this compound, including the big bad. What's his damn name from Victor? No, Vic, the villain from Road Warrior and this, and oh my God, I can see his name. Can't think of it. It'll come to me. Eventually. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it'll come. So John Matrix, not surprisingly, moves on. And in fact, I'll tell you this right now.
Does the
Oh shit, I'm
matter?
sorry. I just assumed he was dead.
He probably will be, but it's in Hell in a Cell.
That's even...
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have anywhere to hide. It's pretty close proximity. A cell, a ring is 20 feet by 20 feet, something like that.
And then another just 5, 3, 4 feet for the ring.
I mean, even if the whip hit,
it'd be more of a disadvantage. You gotta have room.
Yeah.
You can't just no.
You could probably do some
the
sort
underhanded
of flick.
off the hip.
Yeah.
But you can't be a whip a whip breaks the sound barrier. That's what makes the cracking sound.
Yeah.
But it still requires a human motion to achieve that from the cracking of it, it's simple physics. Which is faster? Me moving my hand like this or pulling the trigger of a pistol?
Yeah.
Pulling the trigger.
So Drago down.
Just like that. You shot me in the face. But I would even say, even if the weapons were reversed, I'd still say Matrix probably would win. And I would say that because Ivan Drago is a boxer.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would have to run it 100 times, he would win.
I think if John Matrix got shot twice, he would still.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be an instant kill shot or you hit him in the spine.
And given his movies, the first 2 shots aren't going into his head.
At least the first 100.
Right.
It was like
they go into various parts of his stomach and arms and stuff, but they're not. He's only got 2 shots.
Come on.
That's it. Yeah.
So now we have 6 combatants left.
Angry.
And to do the randomization, do you have a 6-sided die?
I do.
I'm going to assign everybody a number, just going straight down, and that's how we're going to determine these last matches before the final 3. So everybody has a number. So I'm going to roll it for the first combatant, and they will fight the number of the second combatant. So I just went straight down. So if you're keeping track at home, you should know who the numbers are.
Yep.
But anyway, so the first fighter, 4.
Number 4.
Clubber Lang versus
Number
Audrey
1.
2.
Oh man, she's gonna take down another.
Well, let's see.
All right.
Audrey 2 is armed with 2 poison throwing stars in each vine.
Okay.
I
imagine she'll just leave them on the ground.
She doesn't.
In fact, that would be bad for her to even try to pick them up.
Yeah.
Seeing as there's poison in them, she'll just be like,
Roundup for her.
I ain't touching that.
Well, Roundup's poisonous for humans too, so it's super concentrated. Or Agent Orange, that's it.
Yeah.
Plant killer, human killer, cancer
Honestly,
giver.
it would have been good in someone else's hands.
Yeah, in that regard, absolutely. Yeah. However, Clubber Lang is armed with chainsaws.
Okay.
But
dangerous weapon. They are in hell. Hellraiser's version of hell.
So
dark, cold concrete.
A lot of blue lighting.
Yeah.
Concrete everywhere. Random pieces of trash.
So
lightning.
Clubber Lang chainsaw his way.
I think
to
absolutely.
Victory.
She would. I mean, we're using the logic of she has, like in the movie, she has the vines.
Yeah.
She gets it with a. I mean, she would have to get the hand with the chain. It would have to be that moment where she had to whoosh, get it. Hands, legs.
Right.
Which could absolutely happen.
Right.
But she has, as long as he's holding a chainsaw in either of his hands, she can't even.
He's going. Yeah.
She tries to eat him. It's just,
she's made of vines.
Yeah, I mean she's a plant. It's not like bark.
Right.
I mean, if you had
cutting through wood.
You could. I mean, honestly, Audrey too is. Now, of course, you could. Oh well, she's a super plant. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing. There's never a scene in the movie where they even try to hurt her.
Yeah.
Because she just flat up eats people when they do that. But I mean, it's not armored. It's not like even like, for example, trimmers. Mm-hmm. A pickaxe goes right through them when of course, they're too big. That doesn't kill them. But in terms of like her durability, she's not bulletproof. I mean, you could, with a baseball bat, you could probably, now would it kill her? It's blunt, but I mean, you could, just like a plant, you could smash it. A cactus. If I had a baseball bat and was fighting a cactus or busting up a cactus, I could break its stalk really quickly.
Yeah,
now,
she's always very green, very...
But it's not like it's not bark.
Right,
now,
we got to compare it to the closest thing, of Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be the same sponginess to her.
Yeah, I mean, now obviously it's going to be pretty strong and thick because it has to hold up this weight. She has a stalk coming out and then a big ass head on it. So it is strong, but it's not. All I'm saying is it's not going to be like. It's not like going to be like a chainsaw having to work to cut down a tree. If a chainsaw came in this Audrey 2's side or anywhere on her, it's going to cut right through her.
Cutting stalks of celery or something.
I mean, pretty much. Imagine a giant celery stalk.
Yeah.
And I think a katana would go. Any bladed weapon would be a threat to her. Now it's a bladed weapon that moves on its own.
Yeah.
He could throw it in her mouth, and she is fucked.
Yeah. And we also have the good guy factor versus the bad guy factor.
Correct.
That always comes into play.
However, she has the advantage. I mean, a good advantage because in her movie, she wins.
Fair.
And takes over the world.
But I mean, if you were watching this in an 80s movie.
Well, Clubber Lang's a villain too, and he killed Mickey.
That's true.
And she killed Rick
Moranis in this
and
situation, he's the underdog, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's fighting a giant killer plant. I mean, at least he's human.
At least
and
he's human.
We also know that Audrey 2 would destroy the entire world based on the director's cut ending.
I mean, they just look like pretty fragile plants, though, the Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
Which is what we have to compare it to as far as the ability to cut through it.
Mm-hmm. So
But you can always fight it. 80srevisited@gmail.com.
Yeah. I mean, now, of course, could she win? Absolutely. But she would have to have, knowledge of how this works and like how big of a threat, like, oh, this is dangerous, and then like
sure.
So
the moment something gets cut, yeah.
Now, also, Clubber Lang is a peak human specimen. He's that world heavyweight boxing champion. He probably could rip the damn. If she grabs him with something, you'd have to keep him.
Sure, yeah.
Like he could, and then if she wraps the hand up with a chainsaw, I would assume, a peak human specimen, probably at Audrey 2 at that size. Probably could absolutely. I mean, he could rip the vines out, or even maybe not rip them, but pull them out of the socket, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, there are tree. Wood, here in Louisiana, you have tree vines. I mean, thin, quarter thick pieces of wood hanging off trees. That, in fact, I nearly killed my friend Jason because I swung on one and then I hear a snap and look up and I'm literally watching the branch with the vine just fall. And then I look down and I see Jason just staring right at me. And I kid you not, I was out of a movie. And then literally hits him right over the head. Thankfully, it was a rotted branch. It broke immediately.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, I could still see it. I kid you not. It's one of those memories burned into my brain. He's literally just staring at me. Like, I guess he was like, what are you looking at?
You could have ran at him and hit him out of the way.
I mean, no, I didn't even know he was, but I went down in my peripheral, I could see him. So it was like, and I mean, I couldn't beat gravity.
You could just watch him go, just get crushed.
It absolutely could have. Yep. I mean, thank God it didn't.
Right.
I'm like, oh shit, I'll just cover you with some dirt and... Yeah, I was at home playing Nintendo. I don't know where Jason is. But if I was a betting man in Vegas, I would bet on Clubber Lang for this one.
Or the chainsaws.
Pretty much because of the weapon. Almost not any other. I mean, pistols, 2 little bullet holes wouldn't stop all.
And these are the chainsaws from Evil Dead 2, right?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Dennis Hopper.
Okay.
Little
equally effective.
I mean, it's basically like chainsaw gauntlets. No, I mean, if we ran this 100 times, Audrey 2 might win 45, but I think Clubber Lang would win a majority of the battles if we ran this in some sort of high-tech simulation. Sorry, Melissa Sings. In my opinion, Audrey is not plant food because she is a plant. She's salad. Toss salad, anyone? Oh, you're so mature, Trey.
Yeah, these are not small little chainsaws. Is that the one you're talking about?
Well, he has the ones on his side, like little hip holders. He's got
Right.
the big one. It is worded on the card as chainsaws plural. So for my intent purposes was like the little
smaller
dual
ones.
ones, which
Does he use that in this scene? I don't know.
he does eventually.
Probably not before it ends, though.
A lot of people really, really love TCM2. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. It's all right. So yeah, I'm giving it to Clubber Lang. Any digression?
No, but you could send them in 80srevisited@gmail.com.
So the number one seed is down. He's got that, when you weed eat the lawn, you got all that like grass, like all these things like grass and.
Yeah.
So let's see. So we need something other than 1 or a 4.
All right.
1.
All right.
Let me try. So what? Jesus Christ! Critical misses. Okay,
3.
number 3. So Optimus Prime is going to fight John Matrix.
Oh, no.
This would have been going into this because it was a short list, so I did kind of see the fights going into it.
Sure.
I assumed that this probably would have it would have been the last 3. If I was a betting man, would have been Audrey 2, Optimus Prime, and John Matrix. So
I'm going to say, yeah, he has a good shot at taking them out.
if
He has a good shot of finding a way. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, but it's all going to come down to the weapon.
Giant robot.
So let's see.
Be tough.
Optimus Prime is armed with Freddy gloves.
Okay.
So he has it on a finger.
As if he would care to
He
use it.
doesn't like. What is this?
Yeah.
John Matrix, however, is armed
Something
with
good.
boxing gloves.
Oh, no. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter Mangello, Lee Mangello, I would assume, or Limongello.
Lemongello.
I don't know if that's your last name, or if it's like is that your username because you like Limongello and it's a unique spelling? I don't know. Please educate me.
He's joining us over at twitch.tv/80srevisited.
So yeah, John Matrix is screwed. However, the location could make a difference, but will it?
Wobbly Arena Flash Gordon.
Ooh.
Okay, so how well is Optimus Prime on balance?
We know he's 22 feet tall.
Right.
So
you see the Wobbly Arena?
Yeah. In this regard, in this location, because in Flash Gordon, it's basically Flash and Timothy Dalton, I believe. Or was it Timothy Dalton? I think that's where they fight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Optimus Prime would take up half of it.
Yeah.
John Matrix would not. It's from Fletch 2 and also... Okay, gotcha. Wait, are you the actor from Fletch 2? Are
there
you an
you go.
80s actor? We want to talk.
Yeah.
Now, like a lot of people, the Fletch series, when you say Fletch 2, I'm assuming you mean Fletch Lives, if I remember correctly. Because I saw Fletch Lives because it came on TBS or something like numerous times. So I saw Fletch Lives a whole, 20 times more than I ever saw the original Fletch. But I haven't seen it in 30 years, which is a good reason to talk about it on the podcast.
There you go.
Because I used to love that movie.
Yep.
I remember the cover. He's looking at you, holding a chick, and there's a gun at his head. The cover of the original Fletch, he's got his ID badge. It's got all different characters or all that. So, underrated series. We're gonna have to revisit it because now I want to watch it. So yeah, John Matrix with boxing gloves, which actually hurts him too, because he doesn't have that dexterity to.
Well, he has the option to throw them on the ground as well.
Well, and you're absolutely, and also it's John Matrix. He could, he could rip them off. It just as, about to say Freddy Krueger, Optimus Prime could discard his Freddy gloves, or would not even use it. But see, if you fall off, you're dead.
True.
Now, I don't know the specifics on the Emperor Ming 2020 rotating platform of spiky death, drop to oblivion machines.
Yeah.
But I would assume, it would hold his weight, but
I think it would too.
he's it's a disadvantage because he's so tall. It's like me on a, you remember, I don't know if, I think they were called pogo balls. Do you remember those? It was the ball,
Yeah, with a
but it had a little platform around it, and then you have to like hold it between your legs and you jump on it.
Yeah.
No, I can only get like 3 or 4 jumps, and then I'd like jump off of it because I'm about to fall and bust my ass.
I deflated mine like Tom Brady. It was really easy.
Better, more consistent jumps.
Yeah.
This kid's been doing it for 3 years, for 3 days.
Performed really well.
Look at these tricks. So yeah, the weapons, I'm just going to take them off the board because neither of them are going to use them. I don't think they're going to come into play here. The arena, though, does give me pause.
I mean, it's moving on its own. It's not. It doesn't change because of where they're standing.
Yeah, well,
someone's controlling
I forget his
it.
name. Brian Blessed, or Blessed, however you pronounce his last name. He's
pretty much running the board.
He's controlling it. So, but I mean, he's trying to kill both of them for the most. Well, he hates Timothy Dalton more, but nevertheless, it's a rotating wobbly platform.
I'd say it's only about 10 to 15 feet wide. We're watching it here live. If you're joining us on YouTube,
and this could absolutely easily go either way. But the only way Matrix would win, the only way he can win, is to make Optimus fall.
And this guy he weighs. We determined that before how much Optimus Prime weighs, didn't we?
Like 5 tons or something like that. I can't remember. We looked it up last week.
Yeah.
John Matrix is like maybe 250, 260.
Right.
Now, he picks up phone booths and holds men by their ankles and rips doors off cars. Wait a second. He rips seats and car doors right off with no hesitation. That's the action figure. 3.5 pounds. That's how much Optimus Prime weighs. He's dead. John
15
Matrix.
tons.
John Matrix just missile drop kicks him at 3.5 pounds and he goes flying.
I mean, if Optimus Prime is smart enough, he'll just stand in the middle, not move.
Well,
15 tons. He's not. John Matrix isn't pushing him off.
Yeah. Even if and also, John Matrix doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Optimus, if he's sliding off, he just leans forward and grabs the other end.
Yeah.
That's 15 tons, and there's nowhere for Matrix to go.
Lean up.
I'm just debating this so much. It's just driving me crazy.
I got to be the producer.
Oh, and Peter, thanks for. He says we've been in his podcast rotation for years. Keep it up. Thank you very much. We'll do our best about that with consistency.
Yeah.
And all that kind of fun
There's
stuff.
some challenges, but we'll be talking about that later.
Yeah, in just a few minutes, actually. So,
Okay.
But anyway, Optimus Prime. I wanted this to be like the final fight, so it had like a little more weight to it. Weight on a floating platform of death with 15-ton robot.
Yeah.
But again, the weapon, there's nothing to his advantage
No.
that could lend it to John Matrix to stopping Optimus Prime. In hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have put Optimus Prime on this countdown.
Yeah.
But there are ways to beat him in these cards. Now, had we done this without the cards, just flat out, they're fighting each other, he still would have won.
Sure.
The cards actually the only thing that were giving people a chance against him.
And it's worked a few times.
So
It worked last round.
Yeah.
Clubber Lang.
The upset of the century.
Yep.
John Matrix, fan favorite. I was absolutely expecting it to be like when we compared this battle to the last battle to be John Rambo versus John Matrix.
Yeah.
Because then we could have that would have been I can't pick a winner. That's a 50-50. Like if they ran it, it's 50-50 every time. Like if you won 101, it still shows 50-50 in a draw. So they kill each other. That's impossible to determine. So now that leaves only 2, which is actually a pretty cool ass fight in Connor McLeod versus Vigo, the Carpathian.
They look similar.
Yeah, I mean they both use bladed weapons. Vigo's been around probably as long as Connor has. Now, of course, Vigo's trapped in a painting, but Connor's been around for a good long time. And Connor McLeod, unfortunately, gets the short straw as he is armed with pool noodles, not the weapon to kill somebody with. Well, I mean, you absolutely can. Probably not. However, doesn't matter because Vigo is armed with Nerf guns. Somehow they got de-aged. The oldest people in this tournament are playing with children's toys in this fight. Only on 80s Revisited, everybody. So, pool noodle versus Nerf guns. Neither one of these. I mean, no, you could choke somebody out with a pool noodle.
Yeah.
But anybody of any kind of strength could rip it. as far as the weapons viability, Nerf guns, hard plastic, you could beat somebody up with it. So I don't know about the weapons here. However, they could be somewhere where one of these could be extremely valuable.
Well, picture one on the left, you just see his side. Picture one on the right, you just see his side because they're at the pit from Mortal Kombat.
Oh. Connor holds up the pool noodle and it's like, what is this? And just, then he gets that worried look on his face, that Christopher Lambert, like, oh shit, the Kurgan's coming at me look. And Vigo's like, what? Like he's like swinging it because he's gonna not use it as he's not gonna know to shoot it. He's Vigo the Carpathian. He didn't have guns and crossbows. It's just a Nerf crossbow. So he's like, ha 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 ha, shoots it. Little dart sticks in McCloud's head, ha ha, knocks it off. They're like, huh? So then he throws it off the pit and storms over towards him. Connor's got his pool noodle big guy coming at me. He's having flashbacks from when he had to fight the Kurgan.
Right.
So, just a flat out melee, and we don't. Now, Connor has more combat experience.
He does, and he has the confidence of knowing that only if he loses his head.
However, there are a whole bunch of spikes down there.
True.
So, definitely possible he could land and oh shit.
He might not lose his head though.
Absolutely true. There's a chance. If I was an immortal, I wouldn't risk it.
Right.
So, again, the pit spikes are it could nearly take a head off, which, as we know in Highlander, the Kurgan nearly doesn't count.
Yeah, I want to find, a shot of those spikes.
They're far apart, but that's the...
Oh,
that was the different, one of the other ones where it was the 3D...
Yeah, and some of them, there's not even spikes down there.
Yeah, it's just a fall, which wouldn't matter to Connor. Now that would. Gotta knock his head off when he's not fighting Liu Kang.
It's a bit different there.
Vigo's been trapped in a painting for centuries and all that, so it's not like he's out there constantly having to keep his head.
Here's the bottom.
Yeah, roughly. Well, that's the 3D version.
Sure.
And of course
they're fighting at the bottom. That's
but in the original MK pit, the spikes are because it's a flat image. They're very they're much closer together. That's the pit 2 from MK2. It's like a video of all the pits.
Yeah.
So pit levels. Again, he would have to land a very specific way, but the in the game they're not like blades that would decapitate you. Even in the movie, they're thick, but you would have to land so specifically to decapitate somebody.
Sure.
So obviously,
but what's his options once he gets down there if he didn't die?
He's got to pull himself off of a spike.
Okay.
Or whatever.
So let's assume he could do that. But what's his end game, I guess? How would he kill the Carpathian?
Highlander Endgame, by the way, is an actual movie. Well, they brought the TV show was Duncan MacLeod, I think. And Connor, they were cousins or some shit like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Wasn't I watched 2 episodes of the TV show, but it wasn't didn't catch it every day.
Yeah.
So to speak. Even though they played it, I think after the X-Files or something like that on Fox all the time. Something because I'd always see the intro. I'd always watch the intro because one of the greatest theme songs ever, even though it's not technically a theme song.
Right.
Co-opted by Queen, Princess of the Universe, which of course was in Highlander anyway, the original, so that's why it was in the TV show. But nonetheless, in terms of fighting prowess, I think Connor knocks Vigo into the pit before Vigo knocks Connor into the pit.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, Vigo's an emperor. He's boss. Maybe he's a little rusty.
Yeah, of course, he got that by killing people, but when you sit on the throne,
he probably didn't kill him with his bare hands.
He's a big guy, I'm sure he can. I wouldn't want to fight him,
right?
But also wouldn't want to fight a guy my size who's been alive for 400 years, who probably knows every martial art in the book. And again, I'm not a Highlander scholar, but it's mainly about decapitating people, which is why they all fight with swords.
So if he landed at the bottom, he'd be alive. If the fight had to somehow end,
well, then Vigo would just walk down.
Sure.
Oh, you are a formidable adversary.
And then there's weapons on the ground.
Yeah. Now there's spikes to where,
he doesn't know that the weakness is cutting off his head.
Yeah, at all. So
he just assumed he should have died.
He's just gonna keep throwing him on spikes. Why won't you die? And just I'm not dead yet until Connor would get him on a spike, and then he's dead.
I guess he would just regenerate. I don't know how
I
they
mean,
come
I don't
back.
think it's like Deadpool or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
Thinking back to he'll get injured and have to heal. But like when he tries to drown him, or when
Yeah, he just
he's
starts.
just like, haha, I'm underwater
Yeah.
and laughing. I can't swim, but it doesn't matter. The fresh make, like it becomes a Mentos commercial. So I'm pretty
V goes
sure.
down.
Yeah. So now there were 3.
Although that fight would have been close had they both been just regular dudes.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
So now we have the final match. Mm-hmm. Connor McLeod versus Optimus Prime versus Clubber Lang. And I'll be honest, only one of those names I expected to see here.
All right.
So let's pick the arena first this time. Let's see where these 3 are immediately appearing.
No. Tough break. But they're in the middle of the ocean. Oh, man.
If only the pool noodle would have came up for one, would have been a round behind.
Well, we already know. We just talked about the middle of the ocean
Yeah.
for Mr. Highlander.
Yeah. Let's continue this story. So going down in order of the list, Connor McLeod has a 20-pound pickaxe, which does
We'll
nothing.
just get him down there faster.
See ya. Christopher Lambert laugh. Sinks.
Goes down on his anchor.
Optimus Prime has lead pipes. What are these?
Apart.
I was going to say flux capacitor. What are these
Yes.
parts of me doing on the outside? And Clubber Lang has no weapons. The purity of unarmed combat.
Oh, no.
No, hold on. Let's see.
There's nothing.
Lightsabers was 3 cards away.
Oh, bummer.
Pretty much the only weapon that could have, for a human, stood a chance.
Yeah.
Now, as we established, Autobots can't fly.
No, they can't. And he weighs 15 tons, and he's not shaped like a boat.
So here's how I would say this plays out. Optimus knows, he has seconds.
He doesn't need to breathe, though, right?
But that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. I have no clue.
Right.
If salt water is horrible for electronics and metal.
He lasts forever. Yeah, saltwater is. Connor McLeod also lasts forever. I mean, yeah, he'll get spongy fingers, but I think he'll last forever.
But I mean, I cannot recall. It seems like there was an episode of Transformers where they couldn't fall in water or there was something. So anybody who's a little more schooled in remembering the Transformers TV show, by all means, let me know. Or just Google,
Right.
Can Transformers go in water? Because I know in the movie they had the Sharkticons, but I don't think they were floating in water at that point. They were in the air. God, it's been so long, I can't remember. Now, of course, in Beast Wars they have aquatic ones, I'm sure, but Optimus Prime, if all the kid human friends are like, we're having a pool party, Optimus, get in. Okay, steps in, kills everybody, and he short circuits like a toaster. But again, I don't know. We're trying to find some sort of
Some reference.
just something. Can a Transformer swim?
There's not much to go on here. A lot of robot chicken stuff.
Okay, here's how a car works. And we live in Louisiana where there were big floods a couple years ago. It floods when it rains sometimes. If a car gets a certain amount of water, it does not move. It ceases to function.
True.
Now, Transformer's not a gas-powered engine. That's true, but they are mechanical. And if you want to ruin an electronic, what is the number one element to put on it? You need to ruin this car completely. Now, of course, you could throw a firebomb in it, yeah, whatever. No, you drive it into a pond, a lake. The car is done for. It's over. Now, do they need air? No, because they're in space and all that, but of course, Superman needs air in Superman 3 when he's trapped in a bubble, but doesn't when he's flying around the Earth and spinning time back. So they don't breathe. They're anaerobic beings. Also, they're able to resynthesize oxygen from their surroundings to store it in internal supply, much like Diver's oxygen tank. So air's not a factor for a Transformer. But
Yeah.
But does water?
Do Transformers drown? Well, probably not. But Transformers Wiki. They actually have a wiki for water.
So we're on Cybertron. Most of them never even heard of it. There are a few seas that are not of water. The Rust Sea, for example, sea of rust. Not water. Just look for any. Wait, hold on.
He has a water cannon. That's true. He
Boiling
does.
hot water.
I don't know.
There's no
Sentinel Prime
reference.
hates features of most organic planets. Water's no exception.
Now, rain, obviously, we're talking the bottom of the ocean.
Yes. Let's see. It's thoroughly unpleasant for any transformer to rust. Strangely, the fleshy bipeds do not appear to. Well, of course not. They don't rust.
Okay, there's actually a comic panel with Transformer who's in the water. Now, we do not have any clue how long he's been there, but he's saying,
Sure.
I'm starting to rust.
He's floating though. That's interesting.
Maybe he's of course, you throw a panicked person who can't swim in the water, they can tread water for a moment, and then they tire because they can't keep doing that amount of exertion, and they sink and they die.
Yeah.
So, based on the fact that there is no precedent that we can find, I would say Optimus Prime has I know what's about to happen. He just grabs him. And just, he's thinking, maybe I can last longer than you humans in terms of living. Big mistake, because one of them isn't immortal.
Right.
Now, obviously, Clubber Lang would be the first to go.
Sure.
He can hold his breath a minute, maybe.
Clubber Lang is the weak one in this one.
Exactly.
He's just done for.
Now, in terms of he could beat the shit out of Connor McLeod strength-wise.
He ain't cutting his head off with what was the weapon? Nothing.
Yeah, purity of unarmed combat.
Oh yeah.
Street Fighter reference, the movie, the true Street Fighter.
Sure.
But anyway, now here's where Optimus could still win. He doesn't need air, so it's going to be a matter of him can't move, and then he's just he's stuck there for 1,000 years till some dredging operation brings him back to the surface. Yeah. Oh wait, didn't in one of Michael Bay's Transformer movies they found Megatron in the bottom of the ocean because he was basically because
that would have been the second one, right?
I guess I just have something just struck me with him pulling Megatron out of the sea or something like that. So necessarily wouldn't kill him, but that's how you stop them.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's bring this up.
We're going to the judges here for some sort of information.
So let's go through. Covered in starfish, stuff like that.
Basically inactive. He can't
definitely
get out of
inactive. Was he rendered inactive?
I don't remember these shitty ass movies.
I know it was the second one. I'm pretty sure though,
which was the worst. Well, the worst before Wahlberg came along.
Are they under the sea now? Yeah, they are. So I guess. Oh,
those little bots.
That's why he was inactive, because he didn't have that thing stabbed into him. As far as being under the ocean, they don't seem to care. Wait, how are they getting out?
He's just jumping.
I mean, I guess so.
Of course, he can fly in this movie.
Oh, that's true.
Like most Decepticons.
So can Optimus Prime jump? Because you got to think when you're in a swimming pool at the bottom, you can push off the bottom and go all the way to the top pretty easily.
Yeah, but also if you're in a 15, if you just push up, you're only going to go so far.
Yeah.
He's in the middle of the ocean. There's I'm sure the average depth there is a couple of hundred, if not 1,000 feet, which I don't think he could. Megatron just jumped. It's a Michael Bay movie. It makes no sense.
Sure.
But however, Optimus is even. Let's maintain this initial hypothesis of that. He's gonna. He could start walking, but I mean, he's eventually just stop and.
Right, and he can't go ring out either.
Yeah, not in this case.
Yeah.
Now, of course, obviously, if he's waiting for them to die, this is how I'm gonna win. They're gonna die. I'm the victor.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't need it. And then.
Or he could just fake it and just.
He just crumbles him, smushes him up.
Assuming he got the initial grab.
That's true.
Because, I mean, let's assume they were dropped in from the sky or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's going down there faster than the other humans.
Yeah. But again, I would assume he's going to have that, Now, of course, if he's like too far away, oh yeah, he has the best range.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton of variables. This is like almost the worst one to debate because also Clubber Lang is not. There's no scenario where he wins.
Yeah.
He is for sure dead.
Well, what's the odds that he would grab him? Out of 6.
With his reach?
Let's say 50% chance. Failure on 3 or lower.
I'll go with that.
All right. He did not grab him. Roll a 4. For those who can't see.
So, as the randomness has shown, he's like, ah.
So he goes down to the bottom of the ocean.
He's sinking. They look, and they're just, again, Connor McLeod don't care. Like, ha ha.
Yeah.
He's got a 20-pound pickaxe. He just stops swimming and just.
Yeah, he'll just wait for Clubber Lang to drown.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to fight him.
He's like, what the hell?
Nobody here.
He's like, yeah, I'm the champ. And then he's like, why am I still in energy shark? Look,
yeah, not even that. Just he gives out.
Yeah, he's just tired. And, you can also dead man float. He could like. But it doesn't matter because Connor McLeod, a shark would have to come and eat his head.
Right.
would have to bite his head off.
Yeah.
So.
Because the other option, if he would have caught him, would be the squeeze and reverse decapitation.
Basically.
Leaving nothing but his head.
Yeah. So had the universe prevailed for this one instance for this term determining a winner, had he grabbed him, Optimus might have made it all the way.
So death by elements?
Yep.
For both of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for, spongy fingered
he's very prone. He looks like oh man. He gets out, he looks like Dan Aykroyd from Nothing But Trouble. Like just a walking prune, but he's alive. So
Connor McLeod.
Connor McLeod is the winner of the second annual
It pays to be immortal. 100
character deathmatch.
Thanks scene where he's underwater just playing around.
Yeah, just like his laugh. But
even if all of his skin fell off just from being down there for so long, it's like he'll grow back.
Yeah. Now, devil's advocate, if we did this last season's rules, Optimus would have gone all the way.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought Optimus was.
Yeah. Because I knew
middle of the ocean.
I knew that one was in there.
Yeah.
And just thinking like that's the only way. I mean, there was basically one environmental weakness for Optimus and one weapon.
Yeah, there's a couple.
I mean, a freeze ray might have worked. Lightsabers, freeze ray. The flamethrower wouldn't really do much.
Falling out of a plane with one parachute. I don't know if he could survive the fall.
True.
Mine about to collapse.
Well, actually, a parachute wouldn't even help Optimus Prime. He would have to kill the person as they're like. If that was a scenario, he would have to he would have to get the person and kill them in the air.
Yeah.
Or grab them and just throw them ahead of him so they get away from the parachute so they hit the ground first. And he's like, boop.
Yeah.
Back to next round. Saved. And weapon wise, like I said, only the freeze ray or the lightsaber would have really been a threat to him, which never came up against him. So Connor McLeod, and that is the end. However, bonus round. If Connor McLeod was fighting John Rambo,
I'm going to reshuffle everything, so it's a fresh pull.
Well, now obviously, I would say in the rules of the last tournament where they each had like some sort of signature like thing. Right. Connor would have his katana.
Rambo would have a gun.
Well, see, that's the thing. That was what we got us into trouble last time because we were trying to be fair. Like, you can't just, Rambo has his bow and arrow with exploding arrowheads and
yeah.
What? But honestly, what is John Rambo's signature weapon?
A knife.
Exactly.
Which could cut off a head, but he wouldn't know that's the goal there. He would stab him. The guy would keep moving. When would he figure it out? Probably never, but he would chop him up to bits as much as he could.
Well, I mean, it would...
Connor McLeod could fight with a sword.
Yeah, I mean, and he's skilled with a katana, which... You have to go fight somebody. I'm not going to tell you who, but you pick a knife or a katana. I'm getting the katana.
Yeah.
I'm not taking the knife. Now, Rambo could throw the knife, hit him in the forehead. He falls down like, game over.
And now he's got his knife in his
hand. Now he doesn't have his knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in the original one, but it's John Rambo. Like that way. Okay, something's going on here. But then he throws in that scenario. He throws a knife. He's weaponless, and then he's got to fight a katana. it also would depend on the environment. In the original one, they're basically just in an arena. So tough to call. I mean, I
gotta give it to McLeod.
That's where I would put my money. But like again, if we ran the simulation, if we don't have this technology, but I could think of a lot of ways John Rambo could win from Rambo 2.
Yeah,
However,
the explosions and stuff like that.
You know, like
Rambo
in terms
Knight versus Katana.
I mean, he killed an entire army. Could he not kill one guy with a katana? Well,
One immortal.
Granted, also killing an army, he had mines, bows, exploding arrowheads, machine guns, helicopters, grenades. Mm-hmm. You know, for this, you can't just say, "Oh, he's an immortal, so he gets a grenade." I mean, we could say that, but that's a get out of jail free card.
That's why we have these cards to just tell us what
exactly.
to do.
So now we're to follow rules from this tournament to stay true to the purity of random combat. Mm-hmm. Random combat. Connor McLeod being the victor, or he's a polite gentleman, he'll let John Rambo draw first.
Okay.
And I'm not going to pull the top card. I'm going to pull random cards.
All right.
Another degree of randomness.
There you go.
I sense that John Rambo would use this weapon. Lightsabers.
Oh, no.
Totally random. Totally random. Connor McLeod. It's fucking dude.
Here comes the Nintendo
Freeze ray.
Power Glove.
Boobs.
Oh, no.
But they're fighting.
All right. All right. They are in hell.
I like these.
I see you.
He's like, what? No contest. No matter, the lightsaber was out of 30 after 25 cards, that was the critical hit weapon.
Yeah.
For the most part. And
John Rambo.
The person who, whoever got it was going to win. Aside from maybe a freeze, like John Rambo has a freeze ray, Connor McLeod's the lightsaber. If the roles were reversed, there are counters to it, but not. Even if you have the lightsaber active and you get frozen, the lightsaber's just going to melt the ice.
Yep.
And it's going to melt the blade first. But I mean, it's gonna.
I mean, it is a good environment for the freeze ray if that were the weapon. Hell, cold hell.
Yeah. Well, also,
it's not cold hell.
We did speculate that the freeze ray was more like a beam. Could a lightsaber block it, or would it just? Actually, I would assume it wouldn't deflect it like a laser bolt, like in the movies. It would just straight up just.
I mean, I don't know if John Rambo
He couldn't do it.
Full dodge.
Yeah, he would just like.
He doesn't have the Jedi reflexes to use those.
I don't know. Have you seen Rambo 2? To be able to kill an entire army with those weapons? He must have Jedi reflexes.
Established is that John Rambo is going to hold his trophy.
He maintains the crown. Now, again, like we said, this is all just for fun. Mm-hmm. If your favorite didn't win, all you got to do is just write out they would have done this in this fight, this and that fight, this and that fight. Just if it's somebody from the first round, if it's Buddy Revell from 3 O'Clock High, just say he would have beat this person this way, and whoever beat him, I don't remember who did it. It might have been Optimus Prime, because I remember him fighting. No, it was last week. He was fighting on a schoolyard. I don't think it was him. For this person he would have done this, and then if he had to fight this person, who the person he killed in the first round had to fight, would it, ... All theories are viable. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things there's a 1 in a billion chance that it could happen in this fictional universe we just created. So, but if it's a logical thing,
I mean, I think somebody has something to say about that last one with the ocean.
I mean, again, there are absolutely ways that it could have played out not for Clubber Lang. No way in hell.
80srevisited@gmail.com. Tell us all about it.
And honestly, the main reason I put the ocean thing in there was because you had things like Christine, things there were clear advantages on things. So there had to be some sort of checks and balance, because that's what we ran into last time when we had Superman in the competition, not thinking it's fucking Superman.
Yeah.
Dead.
I don't remember how it went out.
Marty with the DeLorean sent him back in time. Because that's when we got into trouble, because we had to balance. That's when we had to balance out power levels
ourselves,
and fights. Yeah. Which is why Godzilla was we didn't have Godzilla in the fight,
Yeah.
as Godzilla, because even Optimus Prime, maybe with lightsabers, could have done something. But I mean, again, all luck of the draw. Mm-hmm. So, but that made it incredibly unpredictable, which was honestly that was more fun. These combinations and fights never would have ever thought of. Mm-hmm. But for the second annual one, Connor McLeod is crowned. For the overall, it's quickly cut off with a lightsaber, and that belongs to me.
Yeah.
John Rambo would reign supreme.
Given the new rules.
Yep. So now that does it for this one. So
it does.
and it's getting late. But anyway, so we got a winner. We did that. Next week. Well, hold on. Before we talk about next week, seen any good movies lately, Jesse? Let's get our usual recap.
Jojo Rabbit. Very good. I enjoyed it mostly. The thing that was a little weird, it tonally shifts many times.
Spoiler alert. If you have not seen Jojo Rabbit, Melissa, if you haven't seen it,
she was around for it, but she fell asleep.
Okay. Well, if you want to finish it, you should turn it off right now. I'll see you when I walk out the door. But yeah, that tonal shift with the shoes.
Great preparation for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because
I knew something was coming, but I didn't know how they were going to do it. I didn't see it.
And when I was talking to you about it, several episodes, whenever it was, that's why that was the moment. Like, this kid is an act. Like, this kid is a. Because
the tonal shift there is like it turns into a real war movie at that point, and only sprinkles a bit of the comedic effect in it.
YT pops in much less often at that, and it gets real.
But it was basically if Calvin and Hobbes was a Nazi thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Sam Rockwell's character at the end broke my heart again.
Yeah,
it's like, no, you're Jew, get out of here. Like, oh man, he was a good Nazi.
He was, yeah.
Not that there were good Nazis, and I'm only saying that because of historical facts of people who go watch Valkyrie. People saw what Hitler was doing and actually did try to stop him. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Also saw the second Jumanji movie.
I did too, and I loved it.
Really? I mostly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Here's why I loved it.
Didn't love it.
And this here's I loved it up until a certain point.
Okay.
Like I liked it.
Did you see the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
I liked the second one enormously until, in a sense, a shift.
Well, we can spoil it. She did stay up for that one.
Okay, well, about to spoil Jumanji. I think it's a spoiler. But Danny DeVito and Danny Glover are in it.
Yeah.
And they get sucked into the game as The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And The Rock impersonating Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart impersonating Danny Glover.
Yes.
Was one of the funniest things I've seen in a movie in a very long time.
It was very funny.
And then when they shift into their normal, I was like, oh man, no! Like this is.
I hated that they came up with that.
Yeah,
the water thing.
That was dumb. I'm like,
why?
We're gonna switch our bodies, but like, no.
I was like, well, clearly they're gonna switch back. Like, they shouldn't have done the water thing. They should have accidentally found a way out. That would have been more of an impact. Like, they're out. Do we go back in?
Yeah. Like, we know, well, you're still in there. Well, we know what we got to do. We have an advantage. We can go back in with 3 lives.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they do this. Oh, God, we only got 1 life.
It was so clear that they got them down to 1 life each.
Really quickly.
However,
it made perfect. Like, that's what the fact that you had DeVito and Glover in the game as old people who don't know what's going on.
Right.
Was comedic genius to me. And Kevin Hart, you know what? Kevin Hart does the best Danny Glover impression. Like, I told I want this for the entire movie. And then when they switch out, Danny Glover, but spoiler alert, becomes a horse, and Danny DeVito becomes Aquafina.
Yeah,
it was just like, then it got back to the first one, which I understand.
At that mountain scene, I was like, oh, this is the conclusion of their story. I'm like, oh. As soon as they found him outside, I was like, well, that's how they got rid of them.
Yep. Adios. So, which I understand, but that was the old people in a video game, boomers in it. Like, what is this? How does this work? Getting everybody killed. Like, stop hitting people and killing people.
Yeah,
like they were team killing all over the place because I was every time they had a conversation, except the little 5 minutes of heartfelt. I shouldn't have left you at the restaurant.
Right.
Aside from the,
well, they needed their arc,
but like The Rock imitating Danny DeVito and like I said, Danny Glover. Also,
Kevin
Kevin
Hart.
Smith, Kevin Hart doing Danny Glover for the first 45 minutes is comedy gold.
Yeah.
But then when that show, I was like, oh, I was just like, I didn't check out. Was like, okay, the heart of the movie just got replaced, transplanted, whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was. Everything was like, oh, I'm an old guy. Oh, it's a monkey, and it's a baboon. They have red butts and all that.
Yeah.
It was done, and they of course Kevin Hart and The Rock are good friends in real life, but they have that chemistry, and then they're both imitating other actors while doing that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I kid you not, every time they had a conversation, I'm just like it's not even funny. It's just Kevin Hart acting like an elderly Danny Glover.
Yeah.
And then of course Jack Black's character, like, every time you talk so long, you tell us what you need.
Yeah.
If somebody's already dead, like, you gotta talk faster. And like it played into video game logic too with it. And I like, up until they had that switch part, I loved it. I was like, this is so good. Like, I had no idea. I thought it was going to be more of the same, which it was in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. I like the first one.
Bad Guy went down
good.
way fast. And
Yeah,
that whole
really
Jumanji
fast.
fruit thing, I thought that was weird. It was like,
The
strange.
end became it was a 80s level kids movie at first. Roughly, I'd say roughly, like, you don't usually see that in a kids movie, like a lot of language in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it became a flat out like kids movie. It became PG in the end when they switched. It was like, say Jumanji. What'd they say?
Yeah.
I guess I should say Jumanji.
Yeah.
And then the horse sprouts wings.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no jungle horse with wings. I mean, they're fighting these real, exaggerated versions of real creatures because it's Jumanji, and it's, you fight jungle animals and all that stuff. And again, last 30 minutes wasn't terrible, but it's just like,
Well, they set up for the next one
oh yeah,
being more like the original, where the animals come into their world.
yeah.
So they won't have all these special powers. So that's not going to be fun to
Jumanji
watch.
for real. Which, I mean, I will see another one, not at the theater probably, but I mean, obviously I assume they're going to make another one. Sure,
Yeah.
I want to watch it, but this one, the first half of it, fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it. Mainly for The Rock and Kevin Hart. I'll see anything with The Rock in it. He could be in anything, and I'll watch it just for him.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart, like, I mean, I haven't seen his comedy specials because the clips I've seen didn't entice me to watch it. Didn't find it that funny. So, like, but I mean, he's won me over as an actor. And I've seen some interviews with him. Like, he seems like a good dude, except for his homophobic remarks 20 years ago.
Pure luck with Martin Short, underrated Danny Glover comedy.
Oh yeah. Oh, the main thing I remember from that is when Martin Short gets stung by the bees, and he looks like Jiminy Glick. Is what he looks like. Great comedy. Was it? Yeah, it was early '90s. I was about to say.
Yeah, 1991.
God, look how young they both are.
They both look super young.
It's so sad. That's the worst thing about revisiting these films, I should say, is, it's like, oh man, so young. But, and Scott Wilson was in it. I've seen that movie one time when it came out. Or when it came out on video, I should say.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, it's Martin Short, the guy from Inner Space and Three Amigos. I want to see this. Was it as funny as those? Not to my memory, but I distinctly remember the bee scene. He gets stung by something, and he becomes Jiminy Glick 30 years too early. So, but anyway, let's see. I was going to mention I saw Jumanji, but I did see a film that absolutely blew me away, and that was the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. Love The Shining, one of our earliest episodes that we reviewed on here. But Dr. Sleep. Can I interview you now? Can you give me a couch? I can't remember any Jiminy Glick bits. I remember eating popcorn obnoxiously. But yeah.
That's where
That's what I remember from that. That's the number one thing I remember from that film.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Sleep, I was blown away how good it was. It was a the director's cut's 3 hours.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you know what we're talking about. We're watching the scene.
Director's cut's 3 hours, but I mean, it moves and moves. And I mean, there were some horrifying parts in it. Like not in terms of scary, but just like, oh man, that's fucked up
Yeah.
kind of stuff. If you like The Shining, I highly recommend Dr. Sleep. extremely well acted. The lovely and gorgeous Rebecca Ferguson is Rose the Hat in it. The first character that you introduced to is named Violet, which is my daughter's name. So it's like, and actually, I was surprised that I haven't read the book. I just know it was a sequel to The Shining, and I heard the movies come out. Like, I don't want to watch the movie first before I ever read the book, because I prefer to watch a movie first before I read a book, unless it's a book series that I'm already into or whatever. Blah blah blah.
Could bring that closer to you.
Oh, sorry,
You can
keep
pull
sitting
it.
back.
You could pull it. Yeah, you could lean back and pull it up.
But Cliff Curtis is in it from Sunshine and Fear the Walking Dead and numerous other things. Ewan McGregor's fantastic in it. I mean, again, it's just well acted. Of course, it got a lot of bad press. Oh, it's a flop because it didn't make 150 million. You know,
Right.
It's one of those situations like, oh, Rise of Skywalker made 800 million, but it's still a flop because we wanted $1 billion. It made 20 times its budget or whatever. Blah blah blah. And, that's the state we are in Hollywood now.
Yeah,
and that's thank God this movie came out. Like, I mean, because they really tried to bring back the Stephen King universe, and it's it's still pretty hyped up. I mean, you got Castle Rock, 2 seasons of Castle Rock. They're talking about another one. It was the one that really kind of blew the roof off of it. Dark Tower didn't, unfortunately, even with that talented cast, didn't do much for like the Stephen King the modern Stephen King cinematic universe. I hated the Pet Sematary remake, but in terms of like this. Dr. Sleep reminded me of classic King cinema in terms of The Shining, in terms of the original Pet Sematary, the old 80s movies we did on Halloween Horror that month or that year for on Stephen King stuff. It's just good, and like it's almost like there's different stories in it. Like it's the director's cut's divided into like chapters, much like a book, but it's got the beats in it are paced so well. There's like this kind of angle, and then like this happens, so like this is added to the mix, and you get a resolution of a conflict, and it keeps building and building and building. To obviously, if you've seen any trailer, you know where it ends up at. It's a sequel to The Shining. Let's not beat around the bush. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, because I heard it was a love it or hate it kind of thing. Like, I love The Shining, but Dr. Sleep was stupid, or I never even seen The Shining, but Dr. Sleep was awesome. Dr. Sleep was amazing, I thought. If you like The Lighthouse, if you like Midsommar, if you like those kind of that modern, like I said, there was a couple of parts in this film where I felt like, ooh, or like in that situation, I'm thinking like that is so fucked up. Like, oh my God, like there was one point like, no, like internally I didn't like scream in the middle of the thing because we were sitting there, my child's asleep a couple of doors down, so. But if you like good horror movies or just good movies, well done films, I highly recommend Dr. Sleep. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't really get many physical releases these days because of the world we live in. And if I want to watch a movie anywhere, I just need this. And I can watch it anywhere, digitally or whatever. But
how movies are supposed to be watched on your phone.
Exactly. Anywhere in the world. Not in a theater.
Yeah.
Never in a theater these days. But yeah, Dr. Sleep, can't say enough good things about it.
Do you remember the last movie you saw in a theater? Star Wars, maybe?
Yeah, actually, Rise of Skywalker would have been the last one.
Was my last one, too.
Wanted to see 1917 so bad, didn't get to it.
It's still in.
Here?
Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to go see it, too.
Shit.
Yeah.
I have no time.
It still has like three times a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn it. I need more time. More time.
More time.
Speaking of time, it's getting late, but I got a big announcement for the podcast.
That's right.
Just kidding. Ha ha ha. No, I was trying to build it dramatic. Like,
I'll make it sad.
Yeah. I'm not that good of an actor. Sorry.
It's different.
Yeah. But we probably won't have a full episode for a little while. And the reason for that is nothing health-wise, nothing anything like that. But my wife got an amazing job in California. Mm-hmm. So I live in
So he's getting
Louisiana,
a divorce, and he has to go through
that. We got to divide things up so she can go to California, so I can stay here and podcast with Jesse.
No.
We're still going to have the podcast, and we've talked for months about working it out to where I'm doing it from home anyway.
Right.
We still would do something like this, being obviously in the same town, but we talked about for convenience sake, sometimes like, oh crap, I got to get up early, or Jesse's got to go somewhere. Have a remote system worked out anyway. So the podcast, there's going to be another pause, but we're talking about little things in the meantime, like micro episode type things
work
to do
something out,
remotely.
yeah.
Just some sort of content to keep it going. But I will be moving to California very quickly, as a matter of fact. In fact, a week from tomorrow, or actually today, because it's 12:51 a.m. here, Jesse's going to be helping me load up a pod to ship all my earthly possessions
Conveniently a
to
pod.
California.
From podcast to pod.
Yeah, there you go. There's the first little update video. Here, we're doing a podcast, so we're loading the pod. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, everything's good in terms of like, my business here is good. Obviously sad to leave my friends, but I'll be coming back a lot for that. I mean, that's the one thing that always kept me here was my friends, not so much. I mean, most my immediate family's all in California. So, and of course we had our business here, which I mean, everybody at the shop was ecstatic about and excited for all the changes we're making. So knocking on wood, hopefully everything will go smoothly. But obviously when we get settled over there, because Autumn has to start working on the 23rd of March, so we'll hopefully get settled that previous week. So hopefully by the end of March, we'll be back to some regularity, at least with the regular podcast. Yeah. So as far as our next episode, that's kind of the target, is into March in terms of full episode. Movie-wise, hopefully we can start the Bond stuff if I can get them watched in that time. Again, with all this stuff going on, new daycare. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on when you're taking everything that you have and going, from the south to the west coast. So, but we got a good plan, so shouldn't be an issue. I mean, other than just delaying the next full episode. Yeah. But as soon as we kind of know where we're at and what movies I've watched, we might be doing Fletch 1 and 2 before that, just to get something quick to watch. Because like I said, I'm working chronologically through all the Bond films right now. And I'm still in the 70s. I got like 3 more to go to get to the 80s. So, but again, they're 2 freaking hours long. And they're just too, speaking of the number, but also the participle, just too damn long for what they are. Yeah. So it's taken... We were on a roll at first because the Connery ones were a little shorter, but then they just got longer and the run times got bigger. And it's just like, God, you don't need all this. But that's more to talk about next time. Yep. So again, if you don't see a full new episode in your feed, again, when you see They Live pop up in your feed, that's when you know, shit, I need to listen to this episode right away because I need to know what's going on. So because we always said They Live will be the final episode of 80s Revisited. Yeah. Just remember that emphasis on that syllable right there. But so a lot of obviously big life change for me. I'm excited for it because I basically get to become Mr. Mom a little bit. I'll be working from home. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, I will be trying to grow the promotional side of the business out there. So if any listeners are in Oxnard, California, let me know. John Martinez, I know you're not too far away. I'm not going to be too far away from you, so we're going to have to meet up sometime. Yep. Maybe at the Gamble House and talk Back to the Future or something. So I'll be looking for you out there once we get settled and everything. But any listeners out there, moving to Oxnard, it's a little south of Santa Barbara, a little west of Thousand Oaks, and a little north of Ventura. So see, I'm a local already.
Just off the 101.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of the big news. Again, it's nothing bad. It's not bad. It's cool. We're all happy. My family's happy for it because I'll be with my immediate family again, and now my daughter can grow up with her cousins, my brother's kids. Unless, of course, after a year our lease is up and Autumn doesn't like it, we'll come straight back here. So
there you go.
That's the thing.
Or somewhere else. Who knows?
You never know. I mean, she's got
Chattanooga.
She works with the Epic hospital system. So if anyone knows a really good paying job elsewhere, maybe like say Paris or Rome. Yeah. Nah, I can't imagine the moving costs to move out there.
Yeah. Pretty huge.
The pod, I think, from dropping it off delivery and dropping off, moving it out to California and then dropping off, I think it's like $2,600.
Okay, I was curious how much that was.
I mean, which honestly isn't that much for the terms of, if you compare it to like renting a U-Haul and driving it yourself and everything.
Still $2,600 anyway. You look at it.
Now, also airline tickets were around $400, so roughly the cost to move was around $3,000.
One way, $400.
Yeah. Wow. 2 people.
Oh, does that include child as well?
Yeah.
Or
so for Delta at least right now, but I mean, airline tickets we looked at it a month ago. They were like $120.
I was going to say that. Why not cheaper than that for such a big city?
Airline tickets, the closer you get to the date you want to fly out, the more expensive they get. You book months in advance with airline tickets, you're good.
Gotcha.
I mean, in terms of like, that's, if you know you're going to fly somewhere and you want to, like, you see there's a concert in Chattanooga for some reason came to mind.
I said it earlier.
Yeah, exactly. But you want to fly there, the concert's in 3 months, book your plane ticket now.
Yeah.
You will probably save $50 to $100.
Yeah.
But also, if you're in Louisiana, it's Chattanooga, just fucking drive.
Right.
It's not.
8 hours.
Chattanooga's a little. It's like 6 hours, maybe. No, it's
not
maybe a
far.
little more than that. Because it's at the bottom. It's at the border of Tennessee and.
Well, I think
Alabama,
if the
I
drive
think.
to Atlanta is about 8 hours from here, just shifting it over a little bit.
Yeah, so
8 hours.
It's not a bad drive to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
This has been Travel Talk
Yes.
on 80s Revisit. But yeah, so again.
Specific to our region.
And then also, it'll actually work out better in terms of time-wise because it would only be 11 o'clock where I'm at over there. So, and Jesse is a night owl, so you're going to get longer episodes out of it probably because we'll be shooting the shit for hours and hours. So that's the big news. Again, nothing. The only inconvenience is it's going to delay a fresh new full episode, I should say, of the podcast. But once we get settled, we're going to get it worked out. It'll probably look just like this, except
Different background for Trey.
I got to work out a background.
Probably be a different background for me. I'll probably change seats, but yeah.
I got to get some memorabilia put up.
Yeah. Got to build
Make
your
a
set.
little. Which now we don't own the house because we can't afford a house out there yet, probably ever. But so I have to figure something out, something nice like Jesse had, something portable.
I don't even show that here.
No, this channel. Maybe you'll see it soon.
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody, it is getting late, and I got a shit ton of stuff to do to get ready for this move the next 2 weeks. So we're gonna sign off out now. Congratulations to the winner. The short-term winner before the combination
Before John
match,
Rambo showed up.
which was just what's time to an immortal.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the winner of the second annual one, Connor McLeod, who, if the two champions were to meet, would promptly get disintegrated by lightsabers.
Yep.
Again, all up to the randomness of it. So that was a fun thing. So again, any discussion? 80srevisit@gmail.com, 80s_revisited on Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
And also, since I'm out there, I'm not going to be bored all the time. But I will have my work will be in a sense less stressful because I won't be in front of the customer in terms of like the retail aspect of my business here. So it'll be more like I'll be doing the social media, like making all that stuff on the back end, on the backside, I should say, for the company. So I'll obviously be more active on social media, period. So if I'm whipping together an ad for Design Resources, might as well just keep that format, slide over a picture of something 80s and post about it. So
There it is.
that'll be a lot easier or convenient, I guess, because I'll be that will be in my daily wheelhouse at that point because for a modern business, social media is a huge thing. All that fun stuff. But until you hear the sound of my voice again, in another time, in the Pacific time, while I'm next to L, capital L, little a, and Jesse is in capital L, capital A,
Yep.
I will remain in spirit, Trey Harris.
Jesse Sedgley.
Cowabunga! Which people actually...